NBC's NBC Miami at 5.
Now at 5, we are eyeing Emily. The tropical storm continues working its way through the Caribbean, but will it stay on track towards South Florida?
Meanwhile, some people are already dealing with damage from wicked weather. Cleanup efforts are well underway after a tornado tears through Tamarack. The summer storm season is in full swing. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Nespral.
And I'm Kevin Cork. We want to head right over to our chief meteorologist, John Morales. He has more of what you need to know. John, good evening.
Good evening. There's a lot of uncertainty, guys, regarding how this system is going to evolve over the next 24 hours. The future track is particularly troublesome as we don't know exactly whether it's going to stay on a west.
Tonight, some residents in Tamarack are dealing with the mess yesterday's tornado created. The storm battered roofs and blew out the windows of several homes. Some houses were even deemed unsafe because of the extensive damage. Affected residents are still stunned about the tornado touchdown.
I just really couldn't tell you what really happened. I just hear the whole house just shaking, and hear things flying all over the place. It was very, very terrible.
The Red Cross is assisting some homeowners who have been displaced. Fortunately, there were no injuries reported. And our viewers captured yesterday's tornado and the damage left behind. If you see weather happening, take a picture or video if you can do so safely and post them on our Facebook page, facebook.com/NBC Miami. And remember to click like on our page to receive up-to-date information on the activity in the tropics.
Yesterday, a South Florida teenager was found guilty of second-degree murder for stabbing his classmate at Coral Gables High School today. The victim's mom reacted to that verdict. NBC Miami's Hank Tester in the newsroom tonight with the emotional interview. Hank?
Well, Kevin, I can tell you this. She said she needed the night to collect her thoughts, a reaction to the conviction of the young man who stabbed her son to death. Here's what she had to say.
Han sido unos días terribles, unas semanas muy duras.
It's been terrible days, very hard weeks.
Dr. Annie's Cruz speaking out less than 24 hours after her son's kill. Reporting, I'm Hank Tester, NBC Miami. Back to you.
Very difficult to listen to. Hank, thank you very much. Also tonight, we're learning more about a pregnant woman killed when a car crashed into her store. Family and friends gathered outside Celeste Boutique in Southwest Miami-Dade to remember 33-year-old Celeste Gatian, who was 6 months pregnant. She and her friend, Layment Abeldo, were killed yesterday when an out-of-control SUV plowed into Gatian's storefront. Police say Pedro Ruiz, the father of popular salsa singer Ray Ruiz, was behind the wheel. He was not seriously hurt. NBC Miami's Steve Litz spoke with people who knew Gatian. Their reaction coming up at 6.
Yesterday, we reported a connection between an arrest in Hollywood and a double murder in Miami Gardens. Today, investigators are now shedding more light on the break in the case. NBC Miami's Ari Odzer is following this one for us. He has the latest from the newsroom tonight. Ari?
Well, Kevin, today we learned the suspect's name, Eric Ellington, and his age. He's only 16. And police say he was one of 2 cold-blooded killers who randomly attacked a young couple at a gas station. The whole crime was captured on security camera video, and now police say they've captured one of the 3 young men involved in the crime after yesterday's arrest in Hollywood.
We have arrested Eric Ellington. That he was arrested by Hollywood Police Department.
Miami Gardens police believe Eric Ellington is the young man who jumps out of the car, points his gun at Julian Soler.
Late execution of a convicted cop killer. A Miami judge has ruled the drug that will be used in Manuel Valle's lethal injection is not inhumane. Valle, who was to be put to death this week, requested for a less painful execution drug. But the judge has now denied that request, concluding that the deadly cocktail does not cause
focus on those fields.
The young and young at heart have a new place to play together in one Broward neighborhood. NBC Miami's Julia Bagg shows us the difference a few hundred volunteers can make in a matter of hours.
How do you build a playground in 5 hours?
All of my help.
Let's get ready to bumble. Julia Bagg, NBC Lauderhill.
And as Julia mentioned, the playground takes 5 hours to build, but needs a few days to set. It's scheduled to open to the public over the weekend.
Football is back tonight at Sun Life Stadium. Okay, we're not talking about the Dolphins, though. We're talking about the best soccer club in the world. FC Barcelona is taking to the pitch, and it's coming tonight at South Florida against Chivas from Mexico. NBC Miami's Adam Cooperstein is on the field with a preview. And Coop, we're ready for some football.
Yeah, you got to say it right, though. Otherwise, people get confused. Not football, it's football. How you like that? I pronounce it right? It's the World Soccer Challenge, or Football Challenge is what they call it. Exhibition matches, these most popular teams internationally, like FC Barcelona, taking on Chivas.
Thanks, Adam.
Really cool. We are just getting started here on NBC Miami.
Coming up, the latest Casey Anthony sighting. Cameras capture the elusive 25-year-old for the first time since her release from jail.
Plus, sightseers get a lot more than they bargained for after a trespasser is caught on the White House lawn.
And the bittersweet truth behind the frozen yogurt craze.
And coming up in sports, Finn's offensive lineman Vernon Carey was back on the field today at a new position. Plus, we'll have an update on Hanley Ramirez's injury from last night's game in New York. Stay with us.
This front will bring a chance of thunderstorms Friday, some of which could become strong.
The wind is really starting to pick up. Yeah, we're talking a major hurricane here.
South Florida's only live Doppler radar, and as we zoom in, you can see the outer rain bands of this hurricane just starting to make their way on shore. Gusty winds.
05858.
Welcome back, everyone. New tonight, what could be the first legitimate Casey Anthony sighting. These are snapshots from video posted on TMZ.com of what appears to be Casey Anthony. Her disguise consists of an Ohio State University
and a check fraud conviction. In another twist, the judge who signed that order actually recused himself today, and Casey, by the way, just didn't even show up.
NBC's Kurt Gregory has more.
Back to local news now. Singer Sean Kingston speaking out for the first time since his jet skiing accident in Miami. He sat down with MTV Tuesday night from his home here in the Magic City. And while the singer is doing fine, he did reveal an intimate part of his recovery.
Tourists grab their cameras after a man trespasses onto the president's property. Secret Service agents tackled a man after he climbed the fence at the White House last night carrying a backpack. The 41-year-old was quickly taken into custody and the area was cleared. Officials say he is being charged with unlawful entry and contempt of court because he had already been told to stay clear of the...
Okay, tell the truth. You love to have that once in a while?
Yes.
Yes,
took matter into his own hands.
Go right over that car that illegally parked. All right, a driver in Texas was cruising when suddenly he lost control.
Somehow his cruise control locked up and he found himself...
With South Florida's only live HD Doppler radar.
And we're going to start off with the radar right now. It's been a scattered afternoon thunderstorm type of day here in South Florida. We've had many of them, especially in Broward County. The rain has been particularly heavy, but thankfully...
All right, John, thank you very much. Now, while rain is in our forecast this week, we can't forget about the scorching summer heat. Absolutely brutal heat waves still gripping much of the nation, baking in its second month with little relief in the forecast. And it's becoming even more dangerous as more and more people are collapsing from the heat and even in some cases dying. NBC's Chris Clackham is in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight with more on this wild weather.
The second straight month of record heat is taking a toll on the young.
Now at 5, a look at headlines ahead. Stories making news tomorrow include emergency officials joining forces to ensure you live prepared. Tomorrow, members from AmeriCorps and American Red Cross Emergency Response will be on hand to answer any and all of your hurricane preparedness.
And tonight's Live Healthy report, the growth of HIV cases in the U.S. is stable, but the CDC is still not satisfied. With 50,000 new HIV cases each and every year, the CDC says this number is...
Attitude led to a longer life. Hear, hear, I believe that.
I do believe that, too.
Hey, the frozen yogurt craze that swept the nation is keeping customers cool this summer in South Florida.
People like you love that stuff, don't you? Okay, well, you probably have a little self-serve store near you. Yeah, you can drive to one if you don't, but is Froyo actually good for you? What do you think, Jack?
I think so.
We'll find out together. NBC Miami's health reporter Diana Gonzalez did a little tasty research today. Here's our findings, Di.
Well, you know what I found? It was really, really tough, but it's definitely yummy. And
well, for all you Dolphin fans hoping the Miami would trade for Denver's quarterback Kyle Orton, forget about it. Today he was named the Broncos starting signal caller over Tim Tebow. That means he's out of the Dolphins picture and the quarterback job will likely stay with Chad Henne. That's not good news to a lot of fans, especially those who chanted, "We want."
Now, Live prepared with South Florida's only live HD Doppler radar.
All right, another stop in the tropics here with another update on Tropical Storm Emily, which continues quite disorganized. Its center of circulation remaining exposed much of the afternoon, currently about 60 miles to the south-southeast of Isla Beata in the Dominican Republic on the southern tip of the Barahona Peninsula.